more. And there are more ways for two towns to keep together now than ever, which is pretty cool. In fact, downtown Wetumpka's, I have to say that a couple times, Wetumpka's Sweet Home Books is teaming up with the Laurel, Mississippi bookstore to offer a pen pal program to the area residents. And I couldn't think of more of a good thing. And joining us is Miss Sonya Dykes. She is the owner of Laurel's The Bookstore in the Window to tell us more. Hey, Sonya.
Hi, Rebecca. How are you?
I am doing well, and I had practiced Wetumpka a couple of times. And when you get put on the spot, it is kind of a funny word to sort of say out loud. But there you go. Now everyone can sort of practice it or sort of laugh at me. But this is a great story. I love it. I'm a fan of what Ben and Aaron obviously have done with Hometown there in Laurel. I think everyone in Mississippi takes pride for that. I was so excited to see that they took their talents on the road. And I know people had mixed emotions about, moving to a different state. But hey, HGTV is a national brand. There was no reason for them to necessarily keep it here at home. And they were able to spread the love to Wetumpka, Mississippi. Not Alabama. Am I saying it right, Sonya?
Right. Yes, Wetumpka.
Yeah, and so...
Just say it fast. Say it fast, and then it sounds like you've got it.
Wetumpka, instead of trying to say it slow. And they did a beautiful job bringing, everything that worked in Laurel or is working in Laurel and in small town Mississippi to another community, and they're thriving. So how did this pen pal relationship happen? Because, there was this beautiful connection between Ben and Aaron and the residents there. You almost now feel like Laurel and Wetumpka are sister communities going through two very similar, very public transformations. So
exactly.
Share how this sort of developed.
Well, my brain is a very strange place, and a lot of odd thoughts flow through it all the time. Some of them I put on paper, and some of them just take legs and run. And this is one of those that took legs and ran, because when I was probably 8, I got a pen pal. And we stayed pen pals until I was late 20s, early 30s. And it was just a marvelous time in my life. And what kid doesn't like to get mail? My daughter would fight her brothers over getting the mail. And I loved it too. And so it was just rolling around in my mind. The children, the kids now, they don't write letters. They're texting and they're emailing and they're not spelling words all the way out. And that just drives me nuts, by the way. And so they don't write and they don't address envelopes. And so I thought, well, what a lost art, and what a fun time it was for me as a kid to do that. And my pen pal was actually from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, and I grew up in Jones County, Mississippi. And so I learned so much about a completely different way of life than, just here in South Mississippi. And so my first thought was, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find a bookstore that is as far away from here as I can get, but stay in the United States. And, of course, I just thought, well, Alaska. It has to be Alaska. And I just start Googling bookstores in Alaska like a crazy person. And I pick one for no apparent reason other than their little picture caught my eye, and I emailed them and said, here's what I want to do. Hi, you probably heard of our town on HGTV. You're going to throw that out there. And they emailed me back really quickly. And in my excitement, I completely forgot how rural Alaska is in places. So they said, that's a great idea, but we probably don't have the children that you're looking for. We don't have enough to do that. And so during all this searching, I see on Facebook that the barbershop in Wetumpka was sold to a lady, and she's turning it into a bookstore. And the light bulb just goes off, and I said, what a unique experience. These children share something, well, and all of us, but these children share something that no one else can share with them, these two hometown towns. And so what a fun thing to be able to talk to somebody about that. And so that's really how it started. And again, I did the creeper thing on Facebook and Google, excuse me, and I just reached out to Diane, the lady that owns the bookstore, and said, hey, you don't know me and I'm really not weird, but we want to write letters to the children in your town.
That's a great way to start a Facebook message, by the way. You really don't know me, but I'm not weird.
We just want your children in your town to write to us. And she had not even opened yet. So she was kind of like, hey, I love this idea, but you got to give me a minute. And I don't think anybody in Wetumpka really knew what was going to happen. We in Laurel kind of know, hey, people are going to come to your town in droves. But so she opened the store, bless her, and helped me start this pen pal little group all at the same time. She probably hates me if the truth were told. But that's how it started, and it's just been so fun, and we've had such good response.
So how does it work, Sonya? I mean, do y'all pair the children from Wetumpka to Laurel, or do they get to choose, or is it by age? So, I mean, you have this idea, and then it's the next thing to, encourage or get kids buy-in to actually start the relationship via pen pal and then keep it up. So how do you organize all of that? Or do you send out ideas for them to write about, or do you just start the pairing and then allow them to sort of see where it takes?
Well, we toss that around a lot because the first thought was, well, let's do like the angel tree thing, and people can come in the store and they can pick a kid off the tree. And then I thought, oh, that's creepy. So let's not do that if I'm responsible for people writing them letters, because anybody can come in and grab a kid's name. So I thought that's probably not the most responsible way to do that, especially because they're going to have their address. That's where the creep factor came in for me. So I thought not safe, stranger danger, and all that. So we nixed that idea really quickly. And so I said, here's what we'll do, Diane. You put a post out on your Facebook page and Instagram page, and I'll do the same. And just tell people, if your children are interested in this, you just message us and let us know. And so I started the trusty spreadsheet, and I just started putting kids' names and ages in, and addresses, obviously. And so they were matched really based on their age, because, there's such a large age difference between, say, 10 and 14, and we have them ranging from like 7 to 14, 7-year-olds to 14-year-olds.
That's really exciting.
I tried to match them based on that. So it's been really, really fun. I have one little girl, her parents texted me and said, hey, she hasn't got a letter yet. Can you check on it? So they're really excited. Like the kids are waiting on these letters, and I just think it's such a grand thing. And we've ended up with 11 kids so far that have been matched. So that's 22 kids, but 11 pairs writing each other from Laurel to Wetumpka.
Do adults get to be pen pals too, Sonya?
Yes, because strangely enough, I had someone say, hey, I'm not a kid, but I would love to write letters too, So can you do this? Can you open this up for adults? And we have 14 adult matches that are writing each other. Now, 2 of them, I have a lady from New Jersey and a lady from Pennsylvania that follow me on social media. And so they messaged me and said, I'm not from Laurel, but can I still do that? So I have 2 people in Laurel that are writing to those 2 people. And then the rest of them are, Laurel to Alabama or Laurel to Wetumpka.
Or do you know how long it takes for a letter to travel from Laurel to Alabama?
I do not. I have not asked anybody. According to the little girl, it took her whole lifetime, she felt like. Because what I did, especially for the younger ones, I just went on Pinterest. I am the Google queen. I think you can learn everything. YouTube, Google, and Pinterest. Those are the 3 places to go. And so I just went on there and looked for, okay, I'm going to tell you how old I am. Because back when we were writing letters, my pen pal and myself, could buy notepads of, it was like fill in the blank letters and you check it wasn't where you wrote it, but you filled in the blank. And it was usually funny, saying you would mail it and you would send them a blank one and they would mail it. And so my mind was thinking, we used to do that. So I'm looking up letters where you just, templates of letters or whatever. And so I did that. I went through and found some and got some ideas and typed up kind of fill in the blank letters, hi, my name is. I am blank years old. I go to school here, or I have, and I gave them, probably 3 or 4 different types of letters. And then I sent lists of things you can talk about.
Well, Sonya, we can talk about this a little bit longer. Can you hang with us?
Absolutely.
All righty, we got more with Sonya Dykes. She is the owner of Laurel's Little Bookstore in the Window, who has started a pen pal program with Wetumpka, Alabama. Come here. We're finding out more about the new pen pal program that's happening between 2 states and 2 bookstores. Here in Mississippi, Sonya Dykes owns the Laurel Little Bookstore in the Window. Sorry about that, Sonya. And she is connected with Wetumpka's Sweet Home Books, and they are getting kids to be traditional, no digital, snail mail pen pals, which I think is absolutely wonderful. So have the parents really jumped in on this too, in terms of supporting the kids with making sure they get their, writing done and out to their friend and vice versa?
It seems like they have. Like I said before, I've had a parent reach out, because their daughter was waiting expectantly. And then I've had some that said, hey, can you send us those, the fill-in-the-blank letters that you have and the list so they can get started. Now, the older ones, the 14-year-olds, they kind of have ideas and thoughts on, what they can write about. But the smaller ones, they've never done this before. So that was the point of all that. And the parents have been reaching out. And some of the parents, that's what's so cool, their kids signed up, and then they're like, hey, I want to do this too. And some of them said, oh, well, now that they see their sister doing it, the brother wants to do it too. So I know of one family that we've got the siblings and the mom are all writing. So I just think that's really neat. So they could do that together if that was something that they chose to do. So,
and I know you're looking to expand it. Obviously, you don't want to be, overrun or inundated with thousands of requests for pen pals, but there's many listening here to Good Things that is in Jones County or Laurel. We've got Jeff on our text line that lives in the Laurel, Jones County area. He definitely understands the impact that Hometown has made on their town in terms of visitors and the unique experience it is to be a resident in a town that's got, such national exposure. But so if someone's listening for the first time, Sonya, is like, you know what? I walk by that little bookstore all the time, or, I'm in that area. I genuinely would like to take part in this. Is there still room for others?
We do have a few kids in Wetumpka that have not been matched. And we have some in Laurel that have not been matched, and that sounds like we should just match them together. But it's an age thing where it's just too much of an age gap, I think, for them to write and have anything to write about for a long period of time. So we do have a few left that need matches, mostly guys, mostly little boys. It's kind of funny. We've been inundated with girls. We've not had as many boys that have. I think the boys that have done it, their moms have said, yes, they would love to do that. So I would love to have some more 7 to, I think, more upper elementary schools, 7's not really upper, but 7, 8, 9-year-old boys. We're needing some matches there, and then a couple that are a little bit older. So we would love to have it. And school has started, so it may be a little harder now. We'll see. I don't even know what school's going to look like right now. But yeah, after school gets settled and they get in the groove, I think that would be a great thing for more people to get involved and advance your writing skills and putting thoughts to paper and that kind of thing.
Well, I was
I'd love to have more people.
There's definitely that part of it, the educational piece to having pen pal, but I never had one. So I'm one of those that's I hear about it. I'm like, what a cool idea. I can even sense the magic in it, not even having experienced it, but it feels awkward sort of getting started with it, right? Like, I mean, it feels like a relationship, and those take effort and those take time, but it feels also like, though, that this could be, something, it could fill a gap or it could fill a void maybe in your life in terms of having someone to share things with or to just do it the old snail mail way. So from your experience, I mean, what was it like having your, I won't say secret friend, but your friend through the mail for all those years? Did you ever get to meet them in person?
We did actually meet. That's how we started writing. We were both on vacation together not together, but at the same place. And we were in the pool, and I really was probably 8 years old. And she was very extroverted, and as a child, I was not. And she just came up to me, hey, my name's, and I'm from, and what are you doing here? And we just got to talking, and it's so funny. I remember the day they left, because they left before we did. She came to our room, and she had a gift for me because we talked every day at the pool and went to the beach and the whole thing. And, you know, the little hotel soaps, they're so small. She had gotten one of those and carved something. I don't even remember what the picture was, but she had carved a picture in that soap and had written me a note. And I was just so taken aback as a child. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And she said, we should keep writing, basically. And that's how it started. No, we never met each other again, but we wrote consistently up until, you know, like I said, early 30s. I had my first child. I was married. And then she got married and then moved out of the country. And we really lost touch then. She moved to Germany. And that's when it kind of just,
but still, what a special
away a little bit.
Yeah, what a special memories and sort of relationship with that. And I think it's really cool that you're trying to give the two towns in two different states the opportunity to even just explore that, even if it only lasts for a little while. I think it will leave a really good impact. Tell us a little bit about your bookstore, though, the bookstore in the window. If we're in Laurel, where is that located, Sonya?
I am at 318 Front Street, and it's a odd, unique little situation. I am on this, I call it the first and a half floor because my ceiling's really low, but I'm inside Lot Furniture on Front Street, and you walk in a furniture store and you go up the stairs, and they have this mezzanine that wraps three sides of the store, and that's me. I'm upstairs, so it's completely open, so you can see all the furniture, but downstairs people see I have twinkle lights and everything everywhere. And so I opened January of 2020. Hello, COVID. So it's been a different experience for me because I've maneuvered through, you know, being shut down right after I opened and all that. But I have had a ball, and for the most part, my inventory as far as books goes are used books because I do trade-ins and people donate books and all kind of stuff. I do have new ones, but the majority of mine are used. And then I have gifts and T-shirts. So it's just a regular bookstore, just like you would go in any bookstore. You can get bookmarks and all the paraphernalia that goes and accessories that go with books. And I have toys and that kind of stuff. So, and I just have a ball. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 3. So I would love for people to come by. And what's been really cool, people come in and say, hey, we stopped in with Tonka on our way here. And Diane says people are coming in there saying, hey, we went to the bookstore in Laurel. So
that's awesome.
We're getting the same customer base. So it's really fun.
Well, that's really cool. I mean, because even Jeff said he's seen car tags all the way from California to Maine and everywhere in between there in Jones County, thanks to, you know, Ben and Aaron with the success of their show Hometown. I know they're now getting that too in Wetumpka. And it's cool to think that they're coming and they're traveling the south. I don't know the distance between the two towns, but it can't be incredibly far. And so, yeah, they're stopping in one and then they're going and visiting in the other. And, you know, you are like sister towns now in a unique way. How important, though, is it for people listening to Good Things to still just support their local bookstore? I know many of our small communities have seen them come and go, or maybe they have that one that has stood the test of time. I realize you're a little bit newer there in Laurel, but what is the beauty of a bookstore there on your main street or within your own community?
I have had so many people, local people, not the tourists, which they're always looking for bookstores, but the local people that will come in and say, I am so glad we have a bookstore. I want a book I can hold in my hand. Yes, I have my Kindle for when I travel, but if I go to the beach or if I'm in wherever at home, I love books. And I hear that all the time. And I love books. I love books. I have them on my bookshelf. I have them stacked on the floor. I love books. And there's just something about, it's a very tactile thing for me to hold the book and turn the page and smell it and all of that and see the cover. And it's just the whole experience of reading. And I remember books that I read as a child. I remember those covers. And a lot of times that's what will draw you to the book is the cover. So you find the treasure in the bookstore you didn't even know you were looking for. You're just going in there digging around and looking, and you just find all kind of things. So it's super important to the local economy to shop local because it is the local shops are supporting so many of our families because downtown Laurel has just grown by leaps and bounds. And all the businesses downtown are owned by local people. That no chains are downtown. If it is, it's like a franchise where they still own it. So it just supports so many families in our local communities. If you shop local, it makes a huge, huge difference.
Well, I put the charge out to those listening to Good Things. You know, if you need a book for school coming up or whatever it may be, just look and see if your community there has a bookstore, and they may have it on hand for you first. And just always shop local. I mean, support those local bookstores. There's so much rich history and cool connections that you can find. And sit down and, like, read a magazine or have a book or find yourself a pen pal. So, Sonya, if we want to find you online, how do we do that?
It's super easy. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm real original. It's The Bookstore in the Window. So it's actually just the name of the store, The Bookstore in the Window, and you'll find me on Facebook and Instagram, and I'm posting stuff all the time. And Diane at Wetumpka is Sweet Home Books. Hers is also the name of her bookstore. So you can find both of us and just make that trip through Mississippi, Alabama, and come see us.
All righty. Well, we appreciate your time here on Good Things, Sonya, but you guys stick with us. We got more coming up next.